agenda, and then public is on the bottom.
Great. All right, I'd like to call the town board meeting of March 12th, 2024 to order. Everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like everybody to remain standing, please, for a moment of silence to remember those who have served our country for the past and the future. Thank you. You guys all take seats. All right. Please note the emergency exits are behind you guys where you're standing and out this door right here if you got to get out. Let's go over the agendas real quick for the resolutions. Resolution number 1, we're going to accept February 27, 2024 minutes. Resolution number 2, authorize stormwater control maintenance facility agreement. Resolution number 2 and number 5 are going to tie together, as number 5 is accepting a performance bond with Solar Greenhaven Solar. Let's go back to number 3, approved town of Beekman budget adjustment. Number 4 is going to be approved renewal of service contract with Folks Home Service. Number 5, like I said, is accepting a performance bond with Solar Greenhaven Solar. Number 6 is adopt policy for overtime, call-in time, and comp time. Number 7, authorize sale of obsolete highway equipment. Number 8 is going to be modifying funding approved for the egg hunt. And number 9 is going to be the payment of claims. At this time, we welcome public comments on the agenda items only. And again, just as a reminder, it is a 3-minute time limit per person. Let's start with Lou.
Ask them to please say their name in there.
Lou, can you just say, yes, when you get up there, just say who you are, please.
My name is Louis Picani, P-I-C-A-N-I. I'm the president and principal officer of Teamsters Local 456. And I guess supervisor's not here tonight?
No, sir.
So I want to thank the town board, and I wish he was here because this is more directed to her about the resolution. We represent the highway department, the men and women that work there. The resolution you're putting forth jeopardizes the town residents by not getting the immediate response time to emergencies that might occur. This resolution, if passed, will dampen the ability of any rapid response to dangerous road conditions. If a tragedy occurs, there will be blood on your hands. In this resolution, you have insulted every town employee, insinuating that erroneous and fraudulent hours were claimed. Again, the supervisor should be ashamed of herself. While you and your families are safe in bed, the highway department men and women are out breaking their backs, making sure all the residents are safe. You cannot work for free, which this town board has done. They worked overtime and you're holding their pay. There's going to be a federal lawsuit, and we brought this up to your attention. You cannot do that. Nobody here in this town board, nor the supervisor, will work for nothing, nor put your families through that. Again, they're sacrificing themselves and their families to come to work to keep every resident safe, and the residents should know what you're doing to them. The disrespect, it's disgusting. And all this is you're trying to diminish the responsibilities of the highway superintendent. It's a power play, and it cannot happen. You're elected officials to serve the residents, not your own needs. So this resolution, if passed, is going to be a mess, and again, it's just for what you do. And I'm pledging here, this is not a threat, or if it is, you can take it any way you want. We are not going away. We are going to stand here and protect every one of these workers, whether you're a Teamster or a resident or a CSA worker. We will here to protect them because they deserve to get paid. They give their blood and sweat every day for this town. Respect them. Okay, so again, if this resolution passes, you better think twice. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. Leonard? Thank you.
Leonard, give me a second before you start to speak, because I just need to, please, thank you.
He just needs a second before you start speaking. Thank you.
Go ahead,
You
we'll go up.
Well, you didn't have to stop. You could.
Oh, yeah, now it'll take you another 5 minutes to go up there. Now go.
Resolution number 3 about the solar farm.
Number 2 and 5.
Well, there's a bunch of them. There's 2 of them.
2 and 5, correct, yeah.
And first of all, I don't understand. The town went through a whole bunch of stuff when Doc Brown's property was sold to the Gillette, the owner who owns Gillette Razor. And it turned out that it was supposed to be for environmental purposes. Nobody was supposed to use it for anything other than that. When I read the resolution, I saw not one name, not two names, not three names, not three companies. And I wonder, I have a couple of questions about it.
That's
So I hope
it. Just,
that
can I
some-
interrupt? That's a different property you're speaking of. This is on South Greenhaven Road. This isn't off of 216.
Excuse me?
This isn't Sanford's property. Is that what you're referring to?
I know I'm just using that as an analogy.
Oh, excuse me. I thought you were...
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I know that. The solar energy farm, a couple of things, does it require a public hearing? This is a major step, green, well, you call it green energy or whatever you want to call it, but it's still, it came from the planning board, of which there are only a few number of citizens that are on that planning board, and that is passing it on to you. And while I'm at it, who's going to pay taxes on this property? It's not in the resolution. It also says that, as part of the resolution, that watering the rain garden will be done. I don't know who's going to do that, or identify and remove the weeds. I don't know who's going to do that. I'm assuming that the town is just going to let them do what they want to do. This town went, a long time ago, at least when I was here, talked about putting in solar panels on the town hall, on the highway garage, and it turned out that it was voted down. One of the few resolutions, I believe, that came before the board that was not approved. So I have no confidence that you're not going to take my opinion into consideration about this being a situation that probably I think needs public comment. So, take it for what it's worth. That's my opinion about item number 3, or whatever number it is.
Thank you, Leonard. Bill Crane?
Thank you.
Thank you, Leonard.
Bill Crane, 254 Gardner Hollow Road. I also want to speak on the resolutions 2 and 5, the Greenhaven Solar Community. The planning board did what it needed to do legally. The members of the planning board are here, and the lawyer was here representing the planning board. But this project, its stake are almost 300 mature trees. It's a huge environmental issue. I'm personally in favor of solar panels, but here you're cutting down trees that hold the soil in place, that are homes to wildlife, that shade the water, that help fight global warming by absorbing carbon dioxide, that absorb pollution. They help us in so many ways. It's a historic farm that's on this land, and this applicant, they made mistakes all over the place. They got by legally, but they really treated everybody in this town, I think, with arrogance. They came in and said they were going to top trees. People remember that. They're not going to top trees. They're going to cut them down. They said that their maps showed they were going to cut trees on other people's property. This project, they're going to give us a bond. I urge you to think of what you can do to have another look at this and watch it like a hawk. I would suggest informing the board, the building inspector, to be ready to pull a stop work order. If this project is sloppy, arrogant, and it's environmentally very bad. It pains me to see all these wonderful trees and they just be cut down. It's just a painful process. I hope you can work things out with the Teamsters. Please following up on what Leonard said, please see what you can do to take another look at this solar community. It's a lousy project.
Great, thank you, Bill. Next up is Dan. I can't read your last name, how you wrote it on here, sorry. Dan? No. No, I think you're after that, no? Isn't that Doug DeMasi?
Dan
Something with a V?
Vander something?
It's either Dan or Don. Anybody with a D that wrote on this? Perfect. All right, Doug, you're up. All right, Dan.
Dan or Don, Dan something.
Yeah, well.
I've known the highway guys, a lot of them, for 20 or 30 years. They're all hard workers, they're dedicated, the time is always accounted for. They work the overtime, they should get the overtime. It's just that simple. Point being, September 6, 2017, there was a resolution that had $40,000 moved from consultation to the rec department. The town board lied to us because on September 7th, 2017, Greg Brown received the $40,000 payment, and as of to this day, and I've done a lot of research, there has never been any proof that Greg Brown earned one penny of that $40,000, and yet you're giving the highway department a hard time about 10, 15, 20 hours of overtime when they're out there snowing or you got the floods. It's unacceptable. They're working for the money, they should get paid the money. Greg Brown didn't work for a penny of that money. The town board stole the money, Greg Brown stole the money. Greg Brown, according to Dutchess County Sheriff Sergeant Detective Jerry Pfizer, wanted to give back the $40,000. The town wouldn't take it back. Pay the highway people. I'm a worker too.
Thank you, Doug. All right, this time we're gonna get started with the resolutions.
Resolution number 1, whereas Town Clerk Lorene Abatantuano has provided copies of the minutes of the February 27th, 2024 regular Town Board meeting to all members of the Beekman Town Board, and whereas Town Board members have had the opportunity to review said minutes, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board hereby accepts the minutes of the February 27th, 2024 regular Town Board meeting.
I'll second that.
Town Board discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Benalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2, whereas South Green Haven Solar One LLC, a limited liability company with a principal office at 55 Technology Drive, Suite 102, Lowell, Massachusetts 01851, as the permittee, filed an application for approvals of a solar farm on a property owned by Carolyn Dixon Revocable Trust, dated October 6, 2020, with an address of 104 3rd Street, Bradenton, Florida 34217 as a landowner. And whereas on January 19, 2023, the Town of Beekman Planning Board, granted a certain water resource permit, special use permit, and preliminary and final site plan approval in connection with the operation of a certain solar facility proposed by the permittee to be located at 97 South Greenhaven Road, Poquay, County of Dutchess, New York, tax map parcel identification number 675700826660, which is located in the town of Beekman, Dutchess County, New York, and is owned by the landowner. And whereas the town requires that the permittee construct and maintain a certain proposed stormwater management facility to be located on a portion of the property it leases, which is more accurately described as Exhibit A, in accordance with New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, Stormwater Pollution Discharge Elimination System, SPEEDIES, General Permit for Stormwater Discharges from Construction Activity, Permit Number GP 020001, for the life of the solar facility. And whereas the parties desire to enter into agreement to provide for long-term maintenance and continuation of a stormwater management facility approved by the town for the solar facility. And whereas the parties desire that the management facility be built in accordance with the approvals and therefore be maintained cleaned, repaired, replaced, and continue for the life of the solar facility in order to ensure optimum performance of such facility. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby accepts the stormwater control facility management agreement, and in accordance with the provisions of Chapter 128 of the Town of Beekman Code, and hereby authorizes the town supervisor to execute the same, evidencing the town's acceptance of said stormwater agreement. And be further resolved that upon execution of the stormwater agreement, the town clerk is directed to forward same for recording in the Dutchess County Clerk's office.
Do you hear a second?
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Bellini?
Aye.
Councilman Limek?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas the Town of Beekman's Accounting Office recommends contained budget revision based on department requests and or the Accounting Office review and analysis of expenditures or revenues, now therefore be it resolved that the following itemized revisions are approved by the Town of Beekman Town Board, identified as budget revision number 2024-2, as follows.
I'll second that.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Bellini?
Aye.
Councilman Limek?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Have it.
Whereas Folks Home Service installed a new boiler in Town Hall and currently provides a service contract for the boiler, and whereas it is advantageous to extend this contract for 4 years, getting the 4th year at no cost, now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign the attached contract for the years 2024, 2025, 2026, and 2027, beginning in March of 2024 and ending in March of 2027, for an amount not to exceed $687.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Bellini?
Aye.
Councilman Limek?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Resolution number 5, whereas South Greenhaven Solar 1 LLC, hereinafter the applicant, is the assignee of the original applicant Borrego Solar Systems LLC, and Carolyn Dixon as trustee of the Carolyn Dixon Revocable Trust dated October 6, 2020, the owner, are co-applicants for site plan, special use permit, and water resource permit approvals for the construction of a solar farm on a parcel of land totaling 29.19 acres that is designated as tax parcel 6757-00-082660 on the tax map of the Town of Beekman, the property. And whereas the applicable and owner have made a request pursuant to section 155-53.1 of the Code of the Town of Beekman to allow for limited tree clearing and grading on the property prior to the signing of the final site plan in order to have the trees cut within the allowable season to avoid impacts to the Indiana bats. And whereas the applicant owner delivered to the town a performance bond undertaking in the amount of $252,655 as a construction completion guarantee of all land development activities related to the property pursuant to section 128-7A of the town code, which includes the contemplated tree clearing and grading called for in the conditional site plan approval dated January 19th, 2023 of the project by the planning board. And whereas the terms of the undertaking authorize the Town of Beekman to draw against the aforementioned performance bond in the event the applicant owner do not receive final approval and the project site is not restored in accordance with the terms of the undertaking. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the town board hereby accepts the performance bond with the attached security bond computation schedule in the sum of $252,655 as security for the faithful performance of the completion of the obligations set forth in the undertaking, and be it further resolved that the town clerk is directed to file the aforementioned performance bond in her records pending compliance with the terms of the undertaking.
I'll second.
Mr. Chairman, just one note. Can you just make there's a typo in the second whereas clause. It should be applicant. The third word should be applicant in this particular resolution, so change applicable to applicant.
Okay.
And as amended, please go ahead and make your motion.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Bettolini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Resolution passes. I'm sorry, excuse me one second. Which paragraph is that in?
The third one.
Right here?
It says
The second,
applicable instead
the
of applicant.
second.
It says applicable instead of applicant.
Oh, okay,
And
I got you.
and I read it as,
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, resolution number 6. Whereas the town board of the town of Beekman, the board,
Take a vote.
adopted resolution number 01324-34 on January 3rd, 2024, directing all department heads for 2024 to obtain approval from the town supervisor for all overtime and compensatory time for both CSEA and non-union employees, and that all employees must clock in and out at the town official paychecks time clocks. And whereas under the New York State Constitution, the board may not authorize the gratuitous dispersal of public funds. And whereas since the adoption of resolution number 01324-34, the board has become aware that time records submitted by or on behalf of certain employees indicating such employees work sufficient hours to be entitled to overtime, call-in time, or compensatory time, of which time records were not corroborated by non-contemporaneously created time clock punch entries on the town's official time clock. And whereas numerous discrepancies and variations between the time clock punch entries and the timesheets submitted by and on behalf of certain employees raised serious concerns that the hours claimed in such timesheets may be erroneous or fraudulent. And whereas paying wages for hours not worked or affording compensatory time for such fictitious hours would constitute a gratuitous dispersal of public funds in violation of the New York State Constitution. And whereas the board is entrusted with the general management and control of the town's finances and possesses absolute authority over and responsibility for the town's budget and for ensuring that all expenditures thereunder are appropriate, legitimate, lawful, and constitutional, and whereas the board has determined that additional safeguards beyond those adopted in resolution number 01324-34 are reasonable and necessary to guard against the risks revealed by the numerous variations and discrepancies between the time clock punch entries and timesheets submitted by and on behalf of certain employees. And whereas the adoption of the additional safeguards provided for herein is necessary and proper exercise of the board's authority over the general management and control of the town's finances and the board's absolute authority over the town's budget. Now therefore, it is hereby resolved that the board does hereby direct all department heads for 2024 to provide to the town supervisor a written report whenever a town employee incurs an entitlement to either overtime, call-in time, or compensatory time. The report. Be it further resolved that each report shall provide sufficient detail for the town supervisor and the board to assess whether the payment of such overtime, call-in time, or the crediting of such compensatory time is an appropriate, legitimate, lawful, and constitutional expenditure. Be it further resolved that each report shall state, at a minimum, whether the hours worked upon which overtime or compensatory time is based were approved in advance by the department head, the date and time of such approval, the manner in which such approval was given, a copy of such approval, if given in an intangible format, or if given verbally, or description of the factual circumstances of such approval, and the reason and purpose for the work the employee was directed to perform during such hours. Be it further resolved that each such report shall be accompanied by the contemporaneously created time clock punch entries provided by the Finance Department payroll demonstrating that the date and time of the hours worked upon which overtime, call-in time, or compensatory time is based, or if such entries are not provided, a signed statement by the department head certified under penalty of perjury as true and accurate, stating the date and time such hours were worked. Be it further resolved that the Finance Department payroll is authorized to provide department heads with such bunch records for purposes of submitting reports required under this resolution. Be it further resolved that each such report shall be provided to the town supervisor by the department head contemporaneously to and along with any payroll report or record which department head submits reflecting that an employee is entitled to the payment of overtime, call-in time, or the crediting of compensatory time.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Capelari?
Aye.
Councilman Benalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
By passing this, you just made our highway department look like criminals. You should all be ashamed of yourselves, and actions have consequences. Remember that, every one of you. Don't ever say they're fraudulent. People break their backs to you. You should be ashamed of yourself. By the time you call them in and he has to check and get approval, you're going to lose a snowstorm and somebody may lose their life. Shame on every one of you. And you know there's going to be action. Nice job.
Thank you, Lou. You get 3 minutes at the end.
You're a bunch of cowards. You're a bunch of cowards. You can't get she wants. Stand up for what you believe in. You believe in these workers? You believe in what they do? You think anyone here is a thief? Look, this is bang your hammer. Bang your hammer. You think any one of these people are going to rob from you? Do you really think that anyone is going to steal time? Huh? When they're out there when you're sleeping, do you really think they shame on you? Yeah, come on, say something. Instead of banging your hammer, tell me something. Nothing to say. Be proud of yourself. Next time, you have to make a phone call when there's a tree down and an ambulance or an emergency fire truck has to go through. And you can't get them on your phone. Think about that. Think about that. When she won't answer his phone, just to screw him. Then what happens?
Whereas the Highway Department has recently purchased replacement equipment for the following listed items, and whereas the old equipment is longer or reviews for the department and can be sold, and whereas the town board is desirous in disposing of the following equipment, now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby authorizes Tony Coviello, Highway Superintendent, to place these items for sale at auction. 1. 1986 Ford 4610 roadside mower, VIN number ID BC11814. 1 2006 Bobcat skid steer, VIN number 530711608.
I'll second. Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Capelari?
Aye.
Councilman Benalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Number 8.
That's right.
Yeah, Resolution 8. Whereas by Resolution Number 22724-6, funds were approved for the 2024 annual egg hunt, and whereas the amount for the Just for Fun for 3 games, delivery, setup, and damage waiver fee was incorrectly stated as $225 and needs to be amended to read to an amount not to exceed $339.50. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the supervisor to enter into an agreement with Just for Fun for 3 games, delivery, setup, and damage waiver fee for an amount not to exceed $339.50, and 2x2 Animal Haven Inc. for an amount not to exceed $500.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Capelari?
Aye.
Councilman Benalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
And Councilwoman Norman?
Aye.
I'm sorry. Resolution passes.
Resolution 9, payment of claims. Whereas the bookkeeper has audited and approved claims pursuant to Section 119 of Town Law as set forth in the attached abstracts, be resolved that the payment therefore is hereby authorized as follows. Claims to be paid from the A General Fund, $2,622,334.20. Claims to be paid from the DA Highway Fund, $20,173.43. Claims to be paid from the SS Dover Ridge Sewer, $5,082.09. Claims to be paid from the SW Dover Ridge Water, $2,651.21. Claims to be paid from the T Trust and Agency Fund, $2,063.00. Claims are paid from the Age Capital Fund, $28, totaling $2,652,331.93. 22924 payroll number 5, out of the general fund, $33,914.03. Out of the highway fund, $25,674.20. Total of $59,588.23. The 2024 tax warrant payments are $2,557,952.64.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilman Lemag?
Aye.
And Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Thank you. All right, at this time, are there any town board comments? No?
I have some, do we read this now? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a reminder, the Relay for Life, Dutchess County, Spring to Life will be Saturday, April 6th at 10 a.m. at Town Center Park. There's information on the website and on the bulletin board. And I also have from County Exec Sue Serino. I am thrilled to announce that I am once again teaming up with Wappinger Central School District to host an informational skill trades fair to give local students and young adults the opportunity to learn more about different career paths available to our region. This free event will be held on Thursday, April 18th, 2024 at Royce Ketchum High School, 99 Myers Corners Road, Wappingers Falls, New York, at 6:30 to 8:30, and is open to the public. Students and young adults from across Dutchess County are encouraged to attend. Local trade organizations and businesses are encouraged to participate, and there is no fee associated with this event. For more information, or if you have any questions about participating in or attending this event, please contact our office at 845-486-2000 or email countyexec@dutchessny.gov.
Thank you very much. All right, at this time, we're going to have our general public comments, starting with Legislator Garrido.
Thank you, Town Board, for allowing me to speak. It's been a while since I've been here, but I just wanted to bring everyone up to speed. Last night, myself as well as my fellow legislators signed a letter requesting that our governor, the Assembly, and the Senate pass legislation allowing additional funds to be granted to our fire district volunteers for real estate tax reductions. And we need this also for income tax, because a lot of our young fellows and women that have joined don't own property, so they're not going to benefit. Now, I will tell you, I know a lot of these volunteers personally, and they don't do it for the money. Believe me, that's not why they're there. And we could not possibly have a safe community without them. They're invaluable. So I would pledge that I will continue to support this effort and ask that any of you have any ways of contacting your assemblyman, your senator, and the governor. And this is very important. And it's not only going to help Beekman, it's going to help all of New York State. The other thing, and I've talked about this in the past, there has been lots of phone scams. And with the artificial intelligence, you may take a call and you think it's your daughter, your grandson, your mom. Be very, very careful. Have a little pact with your family. Something that only they would know. What was the first dog's name or something, to determine that this person is not legitimate. And they're very good, they're very sophisticated. And I personally know a lady that received a call, this was a couple of years ago, this is when I first talked about it, from somebody in California that her grandson, who was going to college there, was in legal trouble. She ended up sending $15,000 in cash. So these are very sophisticated. Be aware. If Amazon calls you, say, you know what, I'll call you back, because they normally don't call. If eBay calls or any of your vendors that you do business with, double check. Say, you know, give me your phone number, I'll call you back. Well, guaranteed they're going to hang up. That's going to be the end of it. So that's just my thoughts. I will be back. We've been very busy in the legislature, and I will give a report sometime in the near future. Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Faye.
Thank you, Faye.
Good night.
All right, next on the list is Lewis. I think he
I
left.
think he left.
Next, Leonard.
I forgot the last time I was here to tell you who I am. I'm Leonard Jerem. I live at 112 Bayou Drive, and I've been attending to just about all the meetings that this town board and previous town boards have had. So I've been called all kinds of names, like the town watchdog and a big complainer, and always questioning things. And I guess that's going to be a title that I'm going to carry for a long time, about questioning. But the last meeting really hurt. And I shame on the town board, shame on the supervisor. She did not allow public comment. She decided that after everything that was said, and believe me, these town boards meetings don't run, if you happen to be watching the clock, they don't last more than 30 minutes or 35 minutes. In fact, I looked at the video just to be sure before the power failure. The lawyers that were attending the meeting to talk about the highway department and the clocks and all that other stuff, they spent 15.29 minutes, and there were 2 lawyers here, not 1. So was the town paying for 2 lawyers or only 1 lawyer? So that's just a question I have. And then the total meeting was only 31 minutes, total. That meant that if you take away the 16 minutes, the 15 minutes that the lawyers spoke of, the town board basically passed all the resolutions in record time. You should have been working for Coyote, the crazy Coyote. And I'm sorry if I'm jumping around here, but I had a lot of things to say, and I know I'm only got 3 minutes, but I was deciding my 3 minutes at the last meeting because the supervisor said we're going to close the meeting, and then you guys all voted to do that, even though you had your flashlights on, and I didn't. You probably should, because of the power failure, you probably should have a resolution, maybe even tonight, to have a standby generator. So people would not have to worry about sitting in the dark. The cameraman did a great job because he was able to capture everybody talking. But I mean, the people who had public comment weren't able to come up because they were still in the dark. And I think that was made that way. The highway department. Okay, let's talk about the highway department. I didn't know that there were going to be all these people here tonight from the union. But in all due respect to the town board, the highway department does a better job clearing the town roads than the county does. And I don't know what union or what umbrella they fall under. They're probably more protected. But certainly the highway department comes down, clears the road as best they can, and they do a better job of it. And they are out in the bad weather. I'm not going out in that snow. Not for anybody, not even for my food, if I'm short. I took the opportunity, because it wasn't brought up at the meeting about the...
Leonard, your 3 minutes is up, but I'll let you go on for a second. Go ahead.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm almost finished.
Yep.
I took it, I didn't know when you voted on, or what had happened with the thing back and forth with the highway superintendent. But I did go back in and look at the forecast for Pokeway for the month of January. And I know that most of the nights were very cold. I know that there were some nights when it snowed. So I don't know if this was brought on by one incident or a couple of incidents. I know there's been a time clock in the town hall. I don't know if it's been used all the time. And finally, I want to repeat that with any resolution that this board comes up with, I really don't think anybody votes anything other than A or abstain. And I think it's, if you're gonna have a meeting, a public meeting, and you're gonna vote to okay everything that you put on the agenda, then I don't know why you have to have a public meeting. You already made up your mind before you sat down. And I don't think that's right.
Great. Thank you, Leonard. Oh, appreciate it.
And I appreciate the extra time. I don't think I would get that with the
Yep.
supervisor.
Again, Bill Crane. Just again, last week we did lose power, and the last half of the meeting we did do in the dark with flashlights, so the reason she ended it early was because we were all sitting here in a storm with the power off. So I understand why it was shut court, or, you know, obviously we lost power here. A lot of us live in Beekman, we had no power at our houses. We have families at home, we need to get home to our families and take care of them also. Go ahead, Bill.
Bill Crane, 254 Gardner Hollow Road. I understand that, what you just said.
I have three young kids at home, so when the power's out, I have no power at my house, I need to get there.
I just want to say it did hurt. Meaning to shut down right before public comment, right before we could talk. It hurt. That's all I'm going to say.
Thank you, Bill. This is Dan, gentleman we called up before, Dan V. And then last on the list is Doug.
I see that the town board continues to use the town of Beekman taxpayers as their own personal piggy bank in forcing lawsuits onto residents. I find it outrageous when things can be settled very easily. But what I find with the town board members, they use the town of Beekman as their own protective shield, and they can do that. But there's a problem that they have. When it's proven that they use it for their own personal vendetta reasons, or their own reasons, they have major problems. I just read of a case where a Utica school district superintendent used the taxpayers' money for his own benefit. He was arrested and he lost the $12,000 that he stole. He has to do 250 hours of community service, and he also took back a lot of his benefits. I personally feel that when it's proven, not if, but I think it's easy enough to prove with the town of Beekman board members that have been here for a long time and gathering all that information and time on their benefits for retirement, they should be revoked. All their time and all their benefits should be taken away because they use their power as a town board member to hurt people in the town of Beekman. And it happens over and over and over again. I just find this outrageous. And when you talk about the highway workers, you guys don't see these guys when they're working and they're not taking lunch. They're working. They don't complain. They do their job and that's it. So by you guys holding back the time on overtime is just unbelievable, unconscionable, and just not fair and honest. They got families to feed and support, so pay them. Just that simple. And stop using the power of the town of Beekman as your own personal piggy bank and using our tax dollars to hire your attorneys that only get fatter and richer to hurt we the people. You're doing it to the highway people, you're doing it to other people. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Let's see here. At this time, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.